Fuck it.
No, I masturbate to cooking shows.
I suck my brother.
You suck your brother.
Thank God nobody else can see it.
Fucking hell. Don't you fucking dare. God fucking damn it. It's always the whites. Ignore the cum, okay? Bravo 6 going dark. If it's your own kid, it's different. Because you can beat them as much as you want. I got to find out what happened to my foreskin. You look at these legs, and you tell me that Meals on Wheels here is not getting fucked over in the future. They didn't even give him a wheelchair. Player will hear is it's going to fix their parents' divorce and suck their cock under the table and do their laundry. And they'll finally have a girlfriend.
Oh, I hear a moose. Oh my God!
Let's see if this kills me. Oh, yeah. No, that killed me. For legal reasons, on this stream, this is water. Okay, now I understand why no one cares about this game. When am I getting molested in this office? Dong is for absolutely everyone. Don't let them tell you that only kids can enjoy dong. One of them was Dragon Ball Z porn, and the other was RuneScape. I think we need to give the Germans back the ovens. Dead grandma! Why the fuck do they keep killing all the hot, tall, 8-foot-tall mommies? Fuck Australia, it's full of criminals. This is what streamers do, this is what the professionals do, is they find creative people who have good ideas, they fucking steal them, and then they never credit them. That's how they, you know...
9 to 11 cats in my life, depending on... That's not a 9/11 joke, by the way.
Now, I know that a lot of what I said is very non-acceptable in society and stuff. But there's two things I want you to understand. Number one, a lot of what I do is jokes. And number two, I'm allowed to do these racial jokes because I'm actually mixed race. You see, my dad's white.
I wouldn't do that if I were you.
And my mother's Italian. Is that work? Okay, fuck. Holy shit. Thanks for the resub, Super Garden. I appreciate it. Holy shit. Fucking hell. What a fucking week this has been. Right? Didn't have fucking power for like 4 days. My batteries ran dry. They were sucked drier than that woman at the office who keeps on sucking off GigaChat under the desk and making you watch. It's just how it is. Yes, I went back to being a caveman, Ashura. I got some fun shit that's happened to my house. I got like a whole fucking myriad of experiences that have occurred over the last fucking week. It's been incredible. Solar not an option. I have solar. That's the worst part, Filter. I had solar. It was overcast in my area for the last 4 days. So I had power for 2 days. I was scrambling to get all my work done. Then my batteries just fucking died, right? So I'm probably going to need to get them replaced. Sun was not working. So what I'm going to need to probably do is I'm going to have to replace out my batteries. I think they're a bit old. Keep in mind, when I set the solar system up in my house, I cheaped out. I cheaped out on batteries. I did the worst thing possible. Why is there a sub-train on my channel? That shit needs to be gone. Anyway, thanks for the resub, Ashura. I appreciate it. You got lead acids, didn't you? I did. And what I should have gotten was the copper nickel. Or nickel, not the other word. Or I should have gotten something else. But this is my problem, right? No, don't get lithium ion. Lithium ion's not good for a house. Super God. Lithium ion is terrible for a house because those batteries burn out a lot quicker. They have a far lower load cycle over time. They're fucking miserable. I am looking. Yeah, you could have Ashura, and you wasted it. So, lithium ion batteries are fantastic batteries for low level power cycling and upcycling and then downcycling. But what happens is that over time they degrade way too fast. That's why the battery in your phone will last like 5 to 6 years, right? And they're used in small devices. That's why Tesla stacks lithium-ion batteries in the bottom of their car, and they use little small teeny tiny power cells because they know those batteries are going to fuck up. You're going to need to take your shitty Tesla into a dealership and get those replaced out, and then they can charge you a maintenance fee, right? So they know what they're doing by putting lithium-ion in those cars. That's not a mistake. What you need in a house is you need those big fuck-off ancient Egyptian hieroglyphs on the side. It's older than your grandmother batteries that are gigantic but have a low power capacity, and they're gigantic to make up the difference because they weigh a fuck ton and they're not going anywhere. So you need copper nickel batteries, not lithium ion. The other option you have is to wait for the graphite batteries to come out. And now I think this must have been like 5 years ago now, me being the little retard I was at the time was like, damn, I'm gonna be able to. I drank the Kool-Aid, I drank the juice, I drank the sauce from the fucking salesman. He was like, no, don't worry, get the shitty ones now, and then like 5 years from now, I'll have graphene batteries stocked for you, and then you can just do a switch out. And I was like, well, shit. It turns out I can only afford the shitty ones now anyway, so hey, why the fuck not? Yeah, where's my fucking graphene batteries? I'm gonna phone that guy tomorrow and be like, where's those batteries you promised me? Give me them for free. Haven't heard this much about batteries since I owned a Game Boy Color. I'm gonna be honest with you, Devless. This is gonna sound like your grandfather telling you about how 8-track was the future and the world just couldn't see its brilliance when I say this. But like actual little batteries, those like little AA, AAA batteries and shit are so fucking good, right? You have no idea how goddamn amazing those batteries are. The engineering that went into them to make them safe, to make them usable, to make them functional, it's incredible. And that's why when you're done with your lead acid like your little batteries, those AA's, those AAA's, like you know, it says on the side of the package, it says don't just dispose of these. You can't just like throw them in a landfill or whatever, and then people do it anyway. What you've got to do is you've got to do the right thing, right? The battery has spent its entire energy bank on you and your fucking TV remote or your piece of shit device. What you got to do is you got to do the right thing and release it back into the wild. So you got to throw that bitch into the ocean. It's where it belongs. Same with car batteries, by the way. What's up, Bonky Donut? I like your name. I had a similar one for my WoW character, and then it got banned. But yeah, I got baited real fucking hard. Greenpeace says we need to stop using batteries and invent something new. Okay, well then invent something new, Greenpeace.
We need to stop using batteries and invent something new.
Oh, holy fuck. Holy fuck, the message went through before the TTS that time. Damn. So, I had a, I'm gonna tell you about my whole last week. It was fucking fantastic. First, I have power for 2 days. I learned that I'm not gonna have power for the rest of the week because that's just life in Africa, right? So I'm like, that's good. I've got 2 days of battery. I can bang out all my work. There'll be some sunlight. There was no sunlight. So 2 of the days I didn't have power. Then the power comes back on. And that's when I find out some fucking asshole in my area has stolen all the goddamn cables out the ground. It fucking pissed me off so much. So, like, for anyone who doesn't understand this, right, who doesn't get what I mean, the cables were stolen out the ground. See, my country has this phenomenon, right? It has this naturally occurring event that happens. So, you know, like some people have natural disasters where it's like certain countries you got to deal with earthquakes, and then other countries you got to deal with a volcano, or another country you got to deal with like, I don't know, fucking tornadoes or some shit. there's a naturally occurring phenomenon in my country. It's called cable theft, right? Where what happens is 4 or 5 enterprising individuals with access to a truck or a vehicle will hook up a hitch cable. They'll like dig into the cables underground. They'll hook up a hitch cable to the cable and they'll drive off, ripping all the cables out of the ground. And they're doing it so that they can try and recoup the copper in the wires underground and then sell it as scrap metal for money, right? Phenomenon. You mean a business model? It's been made into a business model, right? This is job creation in Africa. So the fucking geniuses, the dipshits who I learned later actually got arrested. Somehow they got caught. And when I tell you how these guys got caught, it's gonna be the dumbest fucking way imaginable, right? You won't believe what I have to tell you. It's almost like people who dig for cables for a living are crackhead retards who don't know what the fuck they're doing. It's incredible. So these guys rip a bunch of cables out the ground. And they're pretty mad about this, right? Because these criminals are ripping shit out the ground. And they're not finding copper, right? And now this they're not finding copper because, like, it must have been like, I don't know, a decade ago, before I even lived here. This area was hit by like a wave of crime where all the criminals were just coming through, ripping cables out the ground, stealing all the copper, right? And so what the replacement cables that they used was aluminium, right? Now, aluminium doesn't go for nearly as much as copper because it's not worth the effort to yank aluminium out the ground. You've got to use a different spec, but it's highly conductive, blah, blah, blah. It works kind of as well as copper. Not as good, but kind of as well. So these guys are getting really fucking mad that now that they've dug into the ground, they've ripped out a fiber optic cable, which is essentially glass. So they're very confused by that shit. And so they keep digging. And they keep digging. And they keep digging. And they're looking for copper like they're goddamn prospectors in America who just fucking settled the land. They dug for 3 days. They dug for 3 days before, like, the police showed up and were like, what the fuck are you assholes doing here? What are you absolute dipshits doing here? And all 5 of them get arrested. Imagine being so desperate for copper cables that you build a work schedule around finding them. They're like literally, like quite literally, because there's like a neighborhood watch because my area is not safe, so we've all got like a WhatsApp group, and there's just a guy who's like posting the like camera footage of what he's seeing like across the field from his driveway, like where the municipal wires are and shit. He's just like posting videos of when these guys are at his house, and he was doing that for 3 days, and he's just like, they're back again. Maybe they'll get lucky this time. Look at these pieces of shit. And every single day the cops were called. It took them 3 days. It took them 3 fucking days to get there. And these crackheads were still going at it. That above what I said is accurate, right? Okay, hold on. We have... hold on. What did Ray Whispers say? Because you were replying to something. Where's Ray Whisper's message? I've got to see the original message. God damn it, I don't know where's the original message is. All I can see is the reply. We have these idiots in the middle of Europe. Yeah, but you have what's considered Romanians, right? And Romanians aren't people. They're like a natural... yeah, you know, they're a natural disaster all on their own. But does your government pay those criminals to steal the cables so that the government can tender their brother's company to replace the cables? Yes, that's essentially, yeah, gypsies. Romanis, not Romanians. Oh, my bad. Sorry. Romanians are like level 2 Romanis. I've figured something out, and I'm gonna explain later what I figured out, and I think it's fucking beautiful. We're gonna do some of this later, right? So, obviously, there's a bunch of organized crime in my country that like links back to the government. Like you can look at any of this. You can find this online because it's so fucking obvious and blatant. They don't even care to hide it. So it's like the black market for cigarettes, the illegal drug trade, the replacement of train tracks, the goddamn cable theft in the ground, where it's like always someone who's linked to a politician is the guy getting paid to replace the cables. So it benefits them to hire a bunch of retards to pull the cables out. Now, for this specific case, I don't think that these guys were hired by the government, because if they were hired by the government, they would have left after pulling the cables out, because their profit would have been in, we'll pay you to pull these cables out, right? These retards must have been crackheads looking for metal. They were mining like World of Warcraft dwarves trying to find that shit. They just stayed there for 3 days. And my neighbor's just posting like video cam footage to WhatsApp to be like, the retards are back again. He fell on his ass. Look, and he's just posting clips of these guys for 3 days. Oh, it was fucking beautiful. Finally got arrested, and I could tell they were crackheads because when the police showed up, they didn't even bother to like run or to hide. They must have been high off their ass. They just sat there and were like, oh, now the fucking police are here. And it's like you can see the one of them like looking at the other like, Pumzila, I told you. What did I fucking tell you? I told you they were gonna show up. Now we gotta get arrested. Now I'm gonna go get raped in prison because of you. And you could see they were like arguing with each other while this cop's trying to be like, I'm gonna put you in the van. Fuck you, I'm putting you in the van. And they're just sitting there like having an argument, like they're all married to each other. It was beautiful. Like you couldn't hear a word of what they were saying, but the body language was obvious. It was so fucking impressive. So cables get replaced. So I've got a new upgraded fiber optic line in the ground right now because, you know, the fiber optic system in this country is actually not bad because it's all privatized systems. So I'm really, really fucking happy about that. So I should theoretically, at least until they're pulled out the ground again, have better internet connection, which I'm looking forward to testing out. I call local gypsies or Romanians when the person I'm renting my apartment to doesn't remove all their things. They just come take and go. I've got a better one for you. There is a Nigerian eviction service. I copy. There's a Nigerian eviction service in my country, right? Let me find it. So, if someone lives in your apartment and they don't want to leave, you can hire, you go into the townships and you find the Nigerians, and you can hire a Nigerian eviction service, right? Yeah, no, that just said no immediately, Jimmy. Your prompt said no immediately. It saw prostates probably and was like no. So the Nigerian eviction service in my country works like this. You have a guy living in an apartment. He won't leave. You can't evict him because South African law tends to favor the renter instead of the landlord. You can go through all this paperwork and bullshit, but by the time you get it done, it's been 4 years. And the guy's been living there rent-free for 4 years. What you can do to get them out within the space of a week is what landlords in this country do is they go and find a Nigerian gang and they're like, yo, give me your biggest, blackest, most hung specialist and evict these fucking people from my house, please. And the Nigerian gang will be like, I got you, fam. This is the price. Pay it now. And by the end of next week, money back guarantee. We will have these people out your house. So you give them a key to the apartment or whatever the fuck is getting rented out. And this guy will essentially show up at the doorstep of that house, unlock the door to that house, and he will then go in and just walk around that house naked. Like butt fucking naked. And he will like climb in bed with people and like hold on to them, or he'll like start like opening fridges and just eating all the food. He'll make the situation in that apartment unfucking bearable. And it'll be so unbearable that these people leave. So that's how you get people out of your apartment. If you don't want to go through the legal terms, right? You just say, yo, I'm letting Mr. Mandingo King live in this apartment, and there's nothing you can do to stop me. Okay, well, it cut off the end of your request. But let's see if it still processes it, or it says no. It said no. It said no, Jimmy. Maybe it's gay agenda. It might not like gay agenda. AIs are getting really censored these days. They're getting real fucking censored these days. So, anyway, beyond that point. So I'm like carrying on with life. I'm pretty fucking mad because shit pops off in my country the week I don't have internet. Things go fucking ballistic, right? And I'm like, God damn, I gotta be on Twitter right now. I gotta be fucking with people. And so when I did have internet again, that's the first thing I started doing, was just fucking with people. Now, this wasn't just for nothing, right? I've said this before, I've kind of alluded to this before, that I've kind of started up a few small businesses to be able to like afford my lifestyle and different things. And these companies are like, parts of them are taking off. Some of them are already like fallen by the wayside. They're non-viable, so on and so forth. And I've got a few stories about that. So I spent a lot of last week focusing on these small companies. Now, one of these companies has to do with the mechanisms by which social media work, right? And how to leverage it in the most disgusting way possible to grow as rapidly as possible. Right now, this information is valuable to certain companies and people, but not to others. Is that going to process? Yeah, it's going to process. Right. Right, yeah, let me pause the music. Man, this one's taking a while to generate. Anyway. So, I've got something special for you today before we get going. Does your Nigerian eviction gang need a social media manager? We can live stream this for extra revenue. You know, Jonathan, I've actually considered it. I'm going to be honest with you. I've considered being like, can I pay Womsanti? Can I pay him like an extra $500 to go into this apartment wearing nothing but like one of those body vests that has the like GoPro on it, and then can he just give me the footage when he's done and just make a whole YouTube channel that's just uploads of that shit? I'd legitimately considered that. And I'm gonna be honest, I think it would work. I think it would work based on the social media data that I've gathered so far, that I've like helped build for this company. I think it's worked. I think it makes for, you know what's really funny is I think that most of the time, like 12 hours out of the day, most of that recording is dog shit. But when that guy goes to town, I think it needs to be put on Rumble, because I'm pretty sure he's going to look down with that GoPro on and his dick's just going to be in some dude's ear while he sleeps. But I've seriously considered it. We'll let this play while I explain the rest. So, I think it's about time that I reveal some of these companies, because I've been blown the fuck away. for... What the fuck? Fuck's sakes. Okay, this is pretty good. I'll listen to this. This is pretty good. It's a love letter to Ashura. Rowena, I have actually heard that song. It's fucking fantastic. Hold on, it's generating the lyrics right now as it's doing this. Ashura is apparently coming like the night. That is the best metaphor I've heard for that shit so far. I'm stealing that. Jesus. That is Ray Whisper. That is Mukluk. I AI generated his voice and I got him to do singing intonations. We'll be talking to Mukluk later. Or at least I'm going to be harassing Mukluk and seeing if he will help me when he's back on streaming. I don't know if he's streaming right now. I don't think he is. You know what? We might as well check while we listen to the rest of the Starfish song. This new Twitch interface pisses me off. I don't know why. I know he was live earlier, and I was too busy working. Yeah, no, he's not. He is not live. It's still going. Holy shit. There's still a whole nother fucking minute of this song. Got some Dragon Force intonations in it. Jesus Christ. Jimmy, give Deep Suck like a week and they'll do it. What they'll do is they'll Control-C, Control-V and say it cost them $10 million to do that. And then you'll have it. You won't be on for 3 hours. That's perfect, Jester Zero. I'll see if I can go harass him then. I've also got a special surprise for you, right? When it comes to Guild Wars 2. So, you know, in my WoW challenge, Wild Chapers kind of got fucked, right? Wild Chapers kind of got the bad end of things. What if I told you? What if I told you that Wild Chapers lives on? What if I told you I found a special place? A uniquely special place for Wild Chapers to continue their journey? What if I told you that they're not really dead, they just immigrated? You see, I figured when we're talking to Mukluk, it's very important that I have the right character available for when we're having a conversation with him. So, well, that'll make sense later. I'm not going to say anything more than that. So, a few things I've learned, right, starting these businesses. And this is why I wanted to do this. Now, I had to get permission from the other people and the guy who's the director of that company, blah, blah, blah. But I've got some special information for everyone today. Now, what you might have noticed, if you are mentally ill enough to ever go on Twitter, is that the second I got my internet connection back, I started going fucking bananas there. I started going fucking ballistic with posts for a little bit. And this was on purpose. right? Now, anyone who's got at least 4 brain cells, you missed the opportunity to get a grant from USA to introduce transgenderism to South Africa. Fuck, you're right, iconic. All I had to send them was a picture of someone's dick being cut off with the scissors, and they would have given me $20 billion. You telling me you're secretly Kanye? No. I'm telling you that I was testing the algorithm using a company. Now, I can't reveal... Obviously, they're very, like... Theoretically, they're not supposed to be doing this on Twitter. But this is how you collect data heuristically. Is you put it into a real live environment so that you don't have to consider each and every variable. And you can get human-like reactions, you can count the bots, you can do a bunch of data. I did a little bit of this on my account. My account was like a part of people who were doing this mechanism. And so I was trying different systems to try and piss people off on Twitter, right? And so I've made a tier list of the different ways that you can like jump onto engagement trends and get some kind of upcycling of content going, right? Now, this is not just data that I've collected on my Twitch profile, I mean my Twitter profile, because that would be invalid because it's just one thing. I'm talking hundreds of fucking accounts on both sides of this fucking equation, and I'm not allowed to say anything more than that. Or at least they've requested that I not say anything more than that. But I can make a tier list out of this, right? And I can use my account kind of as an example so that all of what I'm saying here makes sense. There's no drama today, Psycho Fox, aside from the fake drama that I put out on Twitter, using the opportunity of the change of laws in my country to try and bait people into responding and then driving engagement, right? Alright, that's fair. See you later, Psycho Fox. I'll be under your bed tonight for saying fuck you. So, I've got some actual data, and I love data. I'm mentally ill about data. I've never made a Twitter account. What did you post? Okay, well, that's because you're mentally stable. I've been just going fucking ballistic. Like, doing dumb shit like quote tweeting people and replying and saying the most retarded shit. And I'm going to give you context as we go through this, right? Now, this obviously, again, is part of a much wider data set. But these are the things I've found, right? Going through Twitter, trying to figure out how the engagement on this platform works, why it is so slop-driven, and why it is so fucking garbage. I have been digging, swimming. I have been Michael Phelpsing my way through this shit all goddamn weekend. And I'm talking terabytes of data sets that I've been discussing with people because I didn't have an internet connection. So I was talking to people and like collating data with them because they did have an internet connection. Here's how Twitter works from all that data that we found, right? And I'm going to take this from the perspective of you are trying to build something from a business perspective. You are trying to take a no-name brand, whether that's you're a streamer or a company or you've got a product or you've got whatever the fuck, right? And I'm gonna give you the outlay of this, right? So, posts. Fucking D tier. Is there an F tier? Is there a dog shit tier lower than posts? There is no post that you can make on Twitter if you are a streamer, if you are a new company or business, if you are anyone selling a product. There is no good post you can make that will get any natural engagement, right? There is nothing you can do that will make people give a shit about your posts. The only way that posts actually move up to B tier is if you have built a product, you are a somewhat recognized brand, you have posts that are high value and add to the things that you are putting into the universe, right? So like, let's say you sell a product that needs a lot of updates over time. So for instance, it's a video game and it's in its alpha stage. That's when posts become B tier. But for everyone else that's down here, it's fucking D tier. It's dog shit. This should be lower than F tier. This is F minus tier dog shit. Never do this. If you open up a Twitter account, you start just posting, no one gives a shit. And you can hire the world's best SEOs, and you can do keywording, and you can do research, and you can do like a million different things. None of it's gonna work. And when it does work, people fucking hate you for it. People hate your brand for it, which is amazing. Rosa Red Violet's Blue, real name is Oscar Pistorius. That's bold of you to assume that I've fucked more than one woman, Devilis. Plus, I don't have those little nubbies to run around on like he does while he's trying to escape the prison guard. So, posts are out. Don't do posts. Fuck posts, right? Most of the time, bad idea. There is only one position where you can post one thing. It's you take a post, you shit that post out, and it's like a summary of whatever the fuck you're doing, and you pin that post. Now, don't do this if you are someone who's like acting as an individual instead of a company, because then again, it's D tier. So this is staying in D tier. Next thing you can do, quote retweets. Where do you think quote retweets are? Taking someone else's post of high engagement, quoting that, and then driving engagement as a response based on their post that has already got something. Where do you think that lies? B? Okay. We get to ass and titties. Don't worry about that, Ashura. Ass and titties is actually a pretty interesting data set. C. Super God, you're right. It's C. Quote retweets mean nothing unless you pair it with something very specific. Right? But if you are just... Okay, let's narrow our focus. If you are a single individual and you have some online product or service to sell, or you're a streamer, which is what applies, or you're a content creator, quote retweets are valuable enough that every now and then they are worth doing, but not at scale, because people get tired of that shit real fast. And what the data set shows is the more sparsely you use this, the high up this list goes. But if you use this a lot, you start becoming a slop content channel, and you end up down here. So C is pretty reasonable. Where do you think replies go? This is going to be an interesting one. Where do you think replies go? It depends. Same as quote. No, not the same as quote. This is gonna fuck you up, actually. This is gonna fuck you up real hard. Depends if you ratio a motherfucker. You see, you're thinking in too wide terms. What's up, Keith? With the data we found, and this is fucking insane. How much profit did you get from the copper cables? None, unfortunately. I wasn't one of the crackheads getting arrested. There you go. Maniacal Metal pulled out the perfect response. Wendy's. Wendy's nuts coming into your mouth, bro. No. Okay, so. Replies are not S tier. They are A tier. Do you know why? This is the most insane shit imaginable, and it's been right in front of my face, and I've known this principle for years. just never saw it this way. Replies are A tier. Have any of you watched that movie with that crazy mathematician who was an actual real person who found a mathematical theory where if everyone goes for the first position, everyone loses and nobody wins? But if everyone settles for a little bit less, then everyone starts winning together. Do any of you know that mathematical theory? I can't remember its name. It's game theory. There we go. It's game theory. Actual game theory, not the MatPat kind, right? So, under game theory, do you know why replies are A tier? Let's just pull out the Roach software tool. Give me a second. Replies are A tier for one insane fucking reason. And this drove me nuts staring at these data sets. Criminal paradox, they call it. Yeah, so. Guy makes a post. It starts popping off. It gets like whatever, a fuck ton of likes, comments, retweets, whatever. If you are a brand of some kind and you are within this guy's niche, you should be replying to this, because it turns out that by engaging with this, you are bumping his engagement score even higher. His engagement score leads to more people seeing his shit. When more people see his shit, guess what they see? They see your shit. And it boosts your engagement. How fucking nuts is that? Is by lifting someone else up, they will accidentally drag you with them like you're hanging onto their ass hairs as they climb the mountain for you. This is why, that's the right word, Cyro. This is why Twitter is a circle jerk. This is why this word exists. It's why this word exists. And why it works so fucking well. This guy drives your engagement because you're driving his engagement and you are piggybacking off of his success. It's like the clip of the forklifts from Halo. Quite literally the perfect analogy. Another one, if you prefer the old traditional when books were still a thing. If you've ever read the story about the sparrow in the bird race. You know, there's a bunch of birds that get together and the sparrow calls him all a bunch of pussies, and the sparrow's like, fuck all of you. I could outperform every single one of you. You're all stupid bitches. You can suck my dick. And all of these birds are like, okay, fuck you. We'll have a race. And the race goes off, right? And like the fucking falcon gets ahead of everyone. And as the falcon is nearing the end of the race, the sparrow hops off the falcon's back and just fucks off because the falcon's too exhausted to keep up. That's literally how replying works on Twitter. That's why it's A tier. If you are a brand of some kind, if you are gonna be the most engagement-driven, crazy, insane person on Twitter, on YouTube, on Twitch, anywhere, you want to be a fucking reply guy. Even when reply guys get hate, they get more engagement. That's the best part about this. These guys get more engagement because they're replying to shit. And I'll see if I can show you an example of this. Right? Look at this. Right? I decided, okay, so this, I'm going to reference this later because this was me. I was going to be like, okay, let me try the Ben Shapiro technique. Right? This was me attempting the Ben Shapiro technique or the Destiny technique, right? Which is, and actually, where you just shit out a bunch of information from Wikipedia to try and make your point, right? It doesn't change anyone's mind, but it does drive engagement. That's why people do it, right? So, using this atrocity occurring in my country, where land is now being taken away from people, right? I decided let me hit them with the Ben Shapiro question quickly. Why don't you have land? It's been over 30 years, right? Now, this guy here took the fucking bait. Hook, line, and sinker took the bait. Look at the engagement. Literal nothing account. 244 people saw this shit. Right? How many people saw his reply? Nobody. None of that mattered. So if you're gonna be a reply guy, you shit out one reply and you leave. You fucking leave. Maybe I should actually rename this the Hassan technique, because he does this a lot. Is like, he will say the craziest shit. He will never reply to any criticism, and he'll just carry on like it never happened. Right? It's insane how little engagement the rest of this gets in comparison to that very first reply. And this, like, I'm saying this from the data perspective of like 10 or 20 different things. Fuck. Hold on. Shit. Did I just get disconnected?